I bet you hear everybody that Conduit is broken, he's the best legend right now, he's part of the meta. Well, Raven wants to destroy that myth and comes with a pretty good series of arguments. I mean, honestly, he knows what he's talking about. In this video, he will go very in depth, he will explain a lot of things, a lot of valuable things, and yeah, maybe he will make you change your mind about Conduit and actually try a new camp. Anyways, I will let you hear what Raven has to say and I will see you tomorrow. See you.
I'm explaining to you guys why Conduit is horrible. Like, I'm gonna go more in depth than I've ever gone. I'm gonna get nitty gritty. And I'm gonna see if you guys can actually give me like a good argument as to why I'm wrong, or you can pick flaws in my argument. Okay, so I'm gonna show an example of something. Okay, so round 1 closing. Okay, chat, it's round 1 closing. The zone is being. Let's paint this little picture here. We land over here. The zone ends like right here. Before zone 1 is closed, we're over here, okay? We've already cut the distance in half the zone, okay? Why is this important? Because when you're playing Edge, there's a timer. You're on a timer. If you don't get into zone, or it's on you to get into zone because you're not in zone. So it's especially important when you're playing Edge, or if you're playing for a late priority to a zone, that you're hyper efficient early game, because if you make a move to get into zone later rather than earlier, not even just a move to get into zone, but also to, like, if you wait to, let's say, get rid of a team, then it's a lot harder to recover from later in the game because the zone is just going to hurt more. Like, zone 3 closing starts to hurt. So you want to be hyper efficient because it's on you to get into zone. You're not in zone naturally, okay? So yeah, we're in North Pat. We're in like North Pat pretty early, and I want you to compare this to like maybe some other teams that land Elrod. Like, I don't know. You'll have some teams zone crafting, like it's just a disaster. You'll have teams zone crafting for absolutely no reason, for marginal difference in like the amount of armor they have. Very, very marginal. And then it comes back and bites their ass later in the game, because now think about it this way: every time you kill a team, you can't fight. You really shouldn't fight until your next rotation of ultimates. So if you blow your ultimates like zone 1, you kill a team, you're playing Edge. Then by zone 2, you'll have another set of abilities. If you wanted to fight zone 2, you could do it again, and then you can do it again in zone 3. It's very unlikely you kill a team every zone, but my point is you can carve a path to zone by doing that. But if you wait until like zone 3 to make a move, or even late zone 2, like that's not always good, then you can't get rid of as many teams. You can't clear path as well. And also, your ultimates are going to come back way later at a point that is really crucial, which is zone 3 closing. If you don't make zone 3 closing, you're dead, and you need your ultimates for that. So you can't get rid of 2 teams in like one zone, obviously. But yeah, anyways, you can compare that to like other Elrod teams. But let's just watch this fight. Okay, so
outside the building.
Let's just watch
One on the
this.
roof. One on the roof. One on dead. Crack tracks. One's queued up. Dead.
Running.
Nice.
Like, I'm landing Elrod. We're landing Elrod. Before we take our first fight, we're just gonna be like triple purple, right? Everyone else, blues. Actually, yeah, 2 blues, 1 fucking blue, 1.5 maybe, like something like that. All the teams around us, around Elrod, have obviously way worse loot. If it's not only armors, but also scopes, the gun selection. The less you loot, the less opportunity you have to pick up the gun you want. They have worse gun selection, they have worse scopes, mags, everything. And the argument for Conduit. The argument for Conduit is you have more uptime fights, right? However, there's literally so many different ways, other ways to get more uptime in fights. There's a million other ways to do that. This is very obvious. Better armors. If you have like a blue armor or white armor, it's very easy for you to get to flesh health. And the problem with flesh health is, well, it takes a lot longer to heal flesh meds than shields, obviously. So yeah, you crack someone, you do 100 damage to someone in a blue armor, they're either going to have to heal for 10 seconds, or they're just going to have to stay down like 25 HP of flesh the entire fight, which means they're just down one level armor, right? So you can have more uptime in fights by literally having better armors. Okay. 2, better mags. Very obvious. You have better mags. You just can shoot for longer. Better mags, less reloading. Oh wow, that's another way you can get more uptime in fights without having to play Conduit. Okay, this one's obvious. Better scopes. You do more damage because you have better scopes. That results in more uptime in fights. Better mags isn't that big of a concern though? Yes, it is. It 100% is. Because the SMGs without mags are fucking horrible. You have to literally hit every single shot. They're really bad. The exception is if you get an R9 with with a purple mag, then you can do a lot of damage very quickly, and they can't recover it from it very well because they don't have a gun that can match that amount of damage that you did in that amount of time. Okay, so and also every time you have to reload, you're not shooting your gun. Let me show you an example.
Someone's close, really close. Both team.
Team on us.
Both cracks. So weak. Knocked one. One left.
One guy here.
Weak. He's one. He's weak, Jordan. He's weak. He got a pop. We're not play down here.
Like, look how much damage he did in that mag because he didn't have to reload. He was literally shooting.
Weak. Knocked one.
Let me show you.
I can't see him. He got around the wall.
Yeah. Someone's close, really close. Both team.
Okay, that Catalyst is reloading right now.
Team on us.
That guy started reloading on DZ's team.
Both.
And then they shot, and then he played the knockdown for that part. But that first half of that little engagement right there, 2 of DZ are reloading. So they're not shooting their fucking gun. So they have less uptime in the fight. They have a Conduit, and they still have less uptime in the fight than we do here because we have a gun that actually has real damage per mag, and we have a mag. So he's shooting for longer, while these fuckers have to reload literally, half a second after they started shooting their gun. So you can get more uptime in fights against a fucking Conduit team in a little 2v3 simply by that. Obviously, the knockdown helped at the end, but the first half, yeah. So better scopes. Oh yeah, more bats. I mean, again, if you don't have bats and you're in a fight and you have to slow heal, you have a lot less uptime in fights than someone who has bats, and especially someone who has bats and good armors like purple armors. They can trade 100 HP. You have to heal flesh if you're on blue. They don't. They pop a bat, 6 seconds, they're back in the fight. You're out for 10 seconds. That's 4 seconds of uptime they have over you. Just because you don't have bats, you might not have enough, and they do. What else? Oh yeah, better selection of guns. The less you loot, the less selection of guns that you're going to have. It's really that simple. The spawn rates for guns versus like high tier and medium tier is really not like an important thing. It's like not like it doesn't matter. What if I'm calling guys are GGs? Yeah, exactly. Unlucky. So wait, there's another one. I swear there's one more that I was thinking of. I don't remember if there's a 6th one. Oh yeah, positioning. Oh my god. Wait, Twitch chat is so smart. Kurisu. So is this not just a POI argument? I'm gonna touch up on that. So chat, and let me highlight this part right here. Better armors. You guys saw the teams that we were running into for the most part. They always had worse armors than us. This.
Outside the building.
Why the fuck would we need to play Conduit if we can sneeze? This is the command center team, dude. If we can sneeze on them and they just die, like, why would you play? Why would you ever play Conduit from Elrod if that makes no sense? Yeah, you can get so much uptime in fights by just having these things met, these conditions met, and you can do all that. We did all that. You guys saw it yesterday. So why would you ever play Conduit? It doesn't make sense. And if the argument is you play Conduit from worse POIs, let me explain why that doesn't work. So the first thing is, well, if you're playing from worse POIs, don't expect to win like lane, obviously. Don't expect to win lane. Let me just like give you guys a fucking reminder of all the POIs that have won lane. Like Dark 01 LAN, when Siphon literally got triple purples every single game. Command Center, that building, was high tier loot. There was fucking armors on the gondolas. The crafter was literally in the middle of the POI. Most broken Siphon ever, right? And then we won with Wall and Siphon. And then they won with Mill and Harvester. So if you have a shit POI, if the argument is play Conduit because you landed a shit POI, it's still not a winning strat. You're not gonna win. And then on top of that, at best, at absolute best, it might, like, you're trying to equal the playing field, right? You're trying to level the playing field at best if you landed a worse POI. However, that's still not a winning strat because you want something that will totally negate what they're doing. And Conduit doesn't stop people from doing anything. The enemy Conduit Q gives you quote unquote freedom, right? But not really. But yeah, that's what she's trying to do. But she doesn't stop the enemy team from doing anything. If you want to beat people who are better than you, you stop them from doing what they want to do. But Conduit doesn't do that. Before Watson was bugged, Watson was just that character. Because not only was she healing your team when you're playing in a defensive position, these zone POIs with bad loot, but your gen also eats nades, eats horizon ult, eats bang ult, which is literally how anyone kills you right now. Eats Conduit ult. So unfortunately, Watson is bugged, and she heals everyone around her through walls. So you can't do that. But yeah, Watson would just negate a lot of what these teams are doing, like the better POIs or whatever. But yeah, unlucky. But yeah, that's why Conduit sucks. I can literally just get everything Conduit gives me simply by landing at a good POI, and then it's like playing Valk. If you can get evac towers, obviously you wouldn't play Valk.
Dead?
Conduit ult stops building pushes. Conduit ult takes like 4 seconds to pop, and then you can also break them before they even pop. Also, you can like queue over it in the open. Like sure, Conduit ult is not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's like I would say it's above average, but that's also because I mean, let's be honest. Like 75% of the characters in this game suck ass. Let's be honest. Like seriously, yeah. The value of Conduit is when you're contested because okay, in a contest can you guarantee these things, chat? Obviously not. So that's when like Conduit is good in a contest. But if you can guarantee all these things, why the fuck would you ever play Conduit? I get literally crazy uptime in fights through all of this anyways. The character's fucking horrible. Like it's actually fucking it's actually concerning how much she's being played. But you know what? It is what it is.